Wayne, it's quite a changed pack from the team that you selected to face Scotland back in March, which I guess is the nearest comparison we've got. Voluntary changes at both props and blindside?
Yeah, blindside, there's an injury to Ross Moriarty. He was down to start this test match. He picked up an injury in training yesterday and unfortunately won't be right for the weekend. So Aaron Wainwright takes a slot at 6 and James Davies comes onto the bench. In the front row, we've looked at early season form for club rugby, and we've also looked at form in training. Reece Carey has trained very, very well, and Samson Lee, his time out after being away from the squad in the Six Nations, he's gone and done the work we've wanted him to do. He's come back with the Scarlets in very good condition in terms of his form, and so those two get a start.
In the back line, I guess it's good to see the likes of Jonathan Davis and Josh Adams available again, who weren't back in March, so no real experimentation needed there.
No, and Jonathan's worked tremendously hard to get himself back into the position to be able to play a test match. He's ticked every box along the way. He'll be better for this match for a week's time with Scotland. A guy like Josh Adams is quality. We know that. He scored a lot of tries. He's world class, and to have him back, that's fantastic for us. They both trained very, very well. And in the midfield there, we've got George covering the midfield, and young Louis Rees-Zammit comes in, and he'll get some game time.
Was there ever any temptation to experiment a little bit more, or were you always intending to go fully loaded?
No, we've looked at, there are some players we had to wait and see what was happening in English club football to see who was available. There may have been another couple of changes, but, with what's available, we've gone with this group of players. We think, they've trained very, very well. We've taken into consideration fitness testing we've done. George, even though he hasn't played, his last game for us was a very, very good game against England. He's very fit at the moment. He's done a lot of work whilst he's been out of the actual playing side of the game. And we think he's good to go 80 minutes, whereas Jonathan, we'll have to see how long he goes. And Louis obviously would come onto the pitch and George move in if need be.
A word about your skipper, Alun Wyn Jones, who keeps on setting records. Another one equalled world test caps.
Yeah, he'll tell me off though if I speak too much about him, because that's the nature of the beast. He just wants to get on with the game. He's looking forward to this test match like it was his first test match. He's just that sort of character. Leading by example during the week, as you'd expect. Plenty of great, good words to say and encouragement to the young guys. Just brings that wealth of experience, which is invaluable. But he's the first guy to say that, look, if his form's not good enough, he shouldn't be selected. And I can assure you at training, he's doing everything that he's been doing for a number of years now. And it's great for the young guys to see him lead like that. And he's an inspiration to all of the players.
This is the only theoretical friendly in inverted commas matches before Six Nations, Autumn Nations, more Six Nations. What are you hoping to get out of it as a whole?
Well, for us, it's getting the group back together. We've had half a dozen training sessions now. So for us, it's to get a game under our belt before we finish off that Six Nations, it's very important to us that we have a good performance against Scotland and finish that competition well. So this is great to have this match to lead into that. Certainly we'll be going out there and looking to get a result. But it's the performance that we're after from a forward's point of view. There are certain things that we want to achieve in the game, and also with our execution and making sure that opportunities we do create, like we did in the French game in the Six Nations, this time around we want to be able to punish this French team if we get that opportunity.
Finally from me, what about the different environment that you've been working in? How different has it been at your team base in Wales, and what are you expecting in Paris with a city under curfew?
Yeah, we're getting to know the hotels a lot better and the staff that are here. And in France, we're not expecting to leave the hotel very often at all. Going into cafes and things like that, it's all a no-go. So for us, it's just about making sure we use our time wisely. We get the players out, take them into the fresh air, make sure that we, get them right mentally and physically. So the physical part's been done now. Now it's going to be the mental challenge of being together in the hotel for long periods of time. the players are probably more used to it than we are as management, to be honest. It's our first crack at it, and the players have been doing it for their clubs. They've already had sort of 1 or 2 travel experiences for some of them.
Thank you, Wayne. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Hey Wayne, Beth ITV, how are you doing? All right?
Good, thank you, Beth.
Obviously the players have been playing, but it's your first team announcement in nearly 8 months. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's great. It's great, to be back, in the position to be able to name a side. We talked about it as a group, and Alun Wyn brought it up. It's a very, very valid point that, we're very, very fortunate that we're coming together and being able to get organised and play a test match. A lot of people can't go to work. And there's a lot of people in our union that still aren't back at work. So we're going to look to make sure we put some smiles on some faces. That's what we want to try and do in this campaign of 6 matches, and make sure that we do our communities and our country proud. And that's certainly what we're going to try and achieve.
A lot of people, including fans and journalists, licking their lips at the thought of Nick Tompkins and John Davis. Obviously, we've not seen them as a Welsh pairing, but you've seen them in training. What can we expect?
Yeah, look, I think like anything, it's a new pairing, as you say. It'll take a little bit of time, but it's starting to gel quite nicely at training, albeit that's not the pressure of a test match. But certainly we know Nick's got great footwork, and he's showing that at training now. He's put on a couple of kilos since the last, and that's good weight since the last campaign. So, I think you'll see a slightly different Nick Tompkins. He'll be as physical as he needs to be in that 12 jersey. And, the experience of Jonathan with him is going to help immensely. And obviously from a defensive point of view, I think John's one of the best in the world in that 13 position, and that's going to help us immensely.
Thoughts on Corey Hill being back since Feb 2019? It's been a tough, year and a half for him, isn't it?
It has, and he's another one chomping at the bit. He's, as you say, hasn't played for a while at this level of the game. He gets the start, and he'll run our attacking lineouts, and so he's got a bit of responsibility there, which he relishes. And he's really looking forward to it, as they all are. Last
question from me, Louis Rees-Zammit. Obviously, you said he'll make an appearance. Why now, and not maybe 6 months ago? Feeling that he's maybe got more time with Bristol, and not Bristol, and doing well in club level.
Yeah, look, he came in, we had a good look at him. We didn't think he was quite ready. We felt that there were some parts of his game that he needed to work on to be able to play at test level, which is a lot different from club rugby. Look, we know what he can do with the ball. What he's got, you can't coach. He's got genuine gas. And we'll get to see that on the international stage on the weekend. He's put the extra work in. We're talking about now things that don't take a lot of talent. It's that work rate off the ball. It's making sure that he's popping up on inside shoulders and doing the work that a lot of the more experienced players do without thinking. So he's worked hard at his game. His communication was a lot better. Training today, he was outstanding in terms of his level of communication in the back three. So look, we think he's ready, and we're looking forward to seeing him go on Saturday. Are
you genuinely excited to get him on the pitch for Wales?
Oh look, I'm excited for all of the players, but yeah, any player. Sam Parry's the other one. To get your name read out in a match day 23 and know that there's a very, very good chance that you're going to get your first cap. These guys have trained all their lives, some longer than others, but they dream about playing for their country. And, we know their families will be very, very proud, and their communities. And it's just a shame that they probably can't be there with them.
Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Wayne. It's Matt here from Wales Online. How are you?
Good, thank you, Matt.
Good. Just on Wyn Jones, what's the situation around him? Is he carrying a knock?
He was carrying a knock in the first week. He had a hamstring tighten, so it took him out of most of the first week of training. But really, it's an opportunity for Reece, because I think he's trained very, very well. He's taken that opportunity at training, and also probably Wyn has got a few work-ons from the game so far this season, which we've passed on to him, and he'll be working on those over the coming weeks.
And just on Ryan Elias, obviously Ken Owens is going to be out for 4 months, may impact the Six Nations as well next year. What do you want to see from Ryan Elias, and how sort of up for grabs is that number 2 jersey at the moment? Yeah,
well, it's big shoes to fill, as we know. 77, I think, test matches. It's not just the number of tests, it's the way Ken plays whenever he pulls the jersey on, You get what it says on the tin. You're going to get a massive defender, a guy with a high work rate, a good skill set, and he's very good scrummager. So, look, he's going to be a big loss, but Ryan's a guy that sat behind him at club level for a long time. and obviously he's worked his way into this position now in the Welsh camp, and so he's relishing the opportunity. But as I say, big shoes to fill, and he knows that, and I'm expecting him and both Sam Parry over the 80 minutes to have a big contribution.
How do you separate Rhys Webb and Gareth Davies? That must be a difficult one. Yeah,
it is. We're looking at the moment, for us, one of the biggest things we're looking at is speed to the breakdown. So that's getting the speed of ball that we want from each breakdown. Halfback plays a massive role in that, and we want the 9 in and the ball gone very, very quickly. And at the moment, he probably just edges in that department, but also he's a very good talker and manager of the forward pack. And I think that experience that he does bring in those 2 areas of the game, I think just gives him the nudge at this stage. But certainly they're 2 quality 9s, and it's a good headache to have.
And just finally from myself, can you just speak a little bit around the situation around Sam Warburton's departure from the group and what Gethin Jenkins has brought since he's come on board?
Yeah, so Sam, unfortunately, I guess, he'll give you in his own words, but the discussions I've had with him is a simple one, really, that COVID's taken its toll on a lot of people. He's also had a new addition to his family, and with the other business interests that he has, he had to make a decision. He couldn't commit to everything, and he felt that at his age, the coaching was the one that would have to go at this stage. He's enjoyed his time with us. We've had a handover between him and Gethin, and Gethin has slipped right into the role. He's been doing this sort of role with in and around the Blues and the Wales under-20s, and I can assure you it's like for like, really. We've got a very, very experienced man at the breakdown, very good in the same skill set that Sam had in terms of the defensive breakdown as well. So, look, it's been a seamless transition.
Thanks, Wayne. All the best on the weekend.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Wayne. Just one question. I'm just wondering what you do differently to the Six Nations game against France.
Hopefully win it. No, look, we've for us it's about eliminating our mistakes, because if you look back at that game, I think there was a try from a dropped high ball. We didn't escort well to cover Lee. That ball bounced favourably, and they scored 7 points. After half time, I think we'd got the momentum back, 17-16, and got the turnover, and then from that scrum we had a scoring opportunity with a 3v1, I think it was, and we threw it to the French player and they got another 7 points. So for us, if we eliminate those mistakes, I think we're in a pretty good position. It's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination for either side, because it's the first game that we'll both play and with short preparation time. So look, I think if we can eliminate the mistakes we made that day, we should go okay.
Thanks.